All right, riding into the sunset. Got our pavement in signs, one of my favorite signs. Keeping it cool. I get asked a lot if I'm gonna upgrade this bike to electronic shifting. And the thing is, my triathlon bike's electronic. My racing mountain bike is electronic. But if you want to go really, really far, you want to keep things as simple as possible and only go as complicated as necessary. And you can almost always work on mechanical stuff. So the idea is you have to ask yourself, which I'm going to get to in a second, do I want to finish no matter what? maybe mechanical's for you. I think we'll do this little road off to the left. So a good friend at work that's an incredible runner, super fast, and does trail running. I'd probably say maybe up to a half marathon distance, maybe, I'm not sure. But I just know he's crazy fast. He said that he just got a camera for the dashboard of his car, which here in the United States is still kind of rare. All the dash cam footage you ever see seems to be from like Russia and Eastern Europe, where they have both the technology and bad enforcement of traffic. So to tell the insurance company what happened, you want to be able to show on video. Video doesn't lie, until now with AI. But the thing is I told him, and a question I wanted to ask on this podcast is, if you could video every ride, would you? And I don't know what I would have thought before now, because no one asked me. But I told him, I said, that's really interesting. The first time that I videoed one of my rides, I only had one battery. I think I was doing Gravel Locos. He just videoed to save the battery, just the little things, that really matter. The problem is you don't know what's going to matter until it's too late, right? Like a dog chasing you or somebody crashing. You don't have time to hit the record button. So if you have battery life, then yeah, you could record the whole time. And then I said, what I'm doing right now on my shorter rides, I'm recording most of the ride, or not, I don't know. But the thing I'm definitely recording is dangerous intersections and places where I know that I might have a traffic issue or something, for sure, like a dash cam. And then this camera is an Insta360, so it films, it's up against my chest, so it can't film behind me, but if I wore it on my helmet, it could film all around. And it's a really cool name for the technology. Instead of this targeted area, it's shooting everything in front of you. And it's called shoot first, point later. So in the software, you go and tell it, which area generally you want it to be facing. And then anytime it deviates, like a dog off to your left or a car about to hit you on your right, in the video after the fact, in post-processing, you can change the point of view to look at, and show the audience that thing. It's really cool with the dog. I did it left in front and then down by my left and then around me to my right. All later on my phone, on the app. Before I even saved all the video. You tell it these spots that you want it to focus at before you finally save the video to push it out to, like, say, YouTube or something. So, anywho, I know the battery on this thing will last an entire ride. And the question is would I video an entire ride? And I did the other day, and that's why I caught that dog on video. It's kind of interesting, you know? We're down here. What I'm doing for y'all tonight is I'm just gonna publish like the gravel road, because that's the more interesting part. And we might see a cool animal. I'm always seeing raccoons and armadillos, foxes, and the snakes. The last Cottonmouth video that's now hit, I bet it's at 500,000 views now. It was at 480,000 recently. Me trying to get it out of the road so it doesn't bite or doesn't get hit by a car. And I'm all like, people think cottonmouths chase you, but they don't, because I've seen some videos where they didn't. Freaking thing turned around. It almost bit me. It took off all in one move, right past me. So that video's got some really interesting comments. So yeah, the heat management thing. I filmed while I was running with my dog. Over an hour video of how to do heat management on the run in hot and humid places. I'll eventually get that out. It's got a whole, I'd say half of it are things that you probably didn't even think of. And it's all based on science, which is really cool. No weird and wacky stuff, actual factual stuff. Actual factual. That could be a tagline of our show. Well, let's see. So far this week, a swim Monday morning. I don't remember if I biked Monday night. Run Tuesday morning, an hour. During the week I do, everything's an hour. Pretty much. These bike rides tend to be a little bit over an hour because the route's so good. And for ultra training, long distance stuff, you do by hour, you do by time and effort, not speed, not distance. So like on Saturday and Sunday, Saturday I biked 4 hours. That was my plan. And because I was going to come in a little under 4 hours, I added a little bit of mileage to make it 4 hours. I don't even know what the distance was off the top of my head. Doesn't matter. I learned that interviewing one of the very first pros I ever interviewed for this show. I asked her, how long is your weekend ride? And she was like, oh, your long ride. And she was like, oh, like 3 hours. I was like, no, I meant miles. And she goes, oh, I have no idea. I'll never forget that. My co-host back to the day and I just looked at each other like, what? We had so much to learn. That was a long time ago. And Now on Sunday's run, I did have a mileage target because I wanted to increase the distance. So for example, yeah, you're training for a specific distance. Sometimes you go by distance. And so I was trying to target 9.5 miles. 9.5 miles. There's a copperhead. All right, everybody, we have a copperhead. Not a big one, actually a little baby. A juvenile, not a baby. And oh, there he goes. Good. Stay out of the road. He was sunning, obviously, right here. And yeah, pretty cool. Very common in Texas and very venomous. Send you to the hospital. You'll probably live. I most definitely will live, but you will not enjoy the next few weeks. All right, let's go. Oh, there's tons of mosquitoes out here. See, that's a cool video right there. Promised y'all some wildlife. How about that? Boing, 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 boing. Oh, it's hard to tell, but on this bike I've got a suspension stem, a Redshift stem. And that, plus a 50 millimeter front tire, is a lot of suspension for gravel around here. It's very nice. On high ground like that, it'll be copperheads. And then on low ground like creek crossings, it'll be water snakes and cottonmouths, which is a pit viper water snake. Cottonmouths are fat-bodied. They float on the surface of the water. The non-venomous, just regular water, yellow-bellied water snake, whatever they call it, tries to make itself look like a cottonmouth. And then people kill them or think they've been chased by cottonmouth all the time because they look very similar. I think the only downside to video recording all the time is wear and tear on your camera, and it's digital, you know, so you're not spending money on film or whatever, but these cameras are $400, anywhere between like $200, $400, $500, depending on what models you get, and by the time you buy stuff to go with it, and you know, change out the battery and crash or something. It's like, you know, should I really take it on every ride? Because I got a little bit of water in the battery case the other day and it broke the camera for a little while. And I was freaking out because I was like, I started looking up the price of buying a replacement. I was like, oh God, that'll take me months to save up extra money to do that when I've got real bills to pay, you know? I guess it's going to be an audio only podcast for a while. hit my zipper. A cool little trick I did before this ride, I do it about once a week. Put a little bit of wax chain lube. I use a squirt because it doesn't leave any residue behind. Muck off seems to leave some residue over time. But hey, there's our Oreo cows. Hey, hey, hey. Try to turn so you get a better look. And I put wax on the cleats or on the pedals, one or the other. I haven't decided which one actually works better. You don't really need both. And then for a week, be able to clip in and out like that. And if you're riding off-road, or mountain biking and stuff, you want to be able to pop out fast. Clipless keeps you locked in, which is great. But when you want to get out and eject off of a bike, because you're going end over end or something, you want to get off this crazy boat. You want to get out of there, eject. Oh yeah, I got a white blinky light on the front. It's hard for y'all to see. I was checking to see if it was still running. Yeah, so for my swim this morning, I did 5 intervals of 12 minutes. Like I said, try to do everything by time, except for the very last thing I mentioned. Oh, by the way, I talk about Zen on the show a lot. And one thing I've recognized is if your plan has an if-then in it and allows for deviation, that's actually the Zen approach, because what it's doing is it's dealing with reality, that nothing works like you think it's going to all the time. So, you know, in the summer I bike outside while the sun's up, but in the winter I bike indoors on Zwift during the week. If the wind's out of the south and hot, I run this way. If it's out of the north and cold, I run that way to stay hot or cold on my run and not freeze to death or get overheated, because I got a dog with me too. And oh, we're not on gravel. We're gonna turn this off. We'll be back. All right, we're about to hit gravel. We just got this one little turn here. I'm gonna unclip in case it gets wild, because cars come flying around this corner. And I wish I could take the corner faster because it'd be a lot of fun. But like I always say, bike today so that you can bike tomorrow. Oh, there's some deer. A buck. You probably didn't see it. He's way up there. I learned that from surfing. They're like, oh, look at the size of that wave. And then it almost kills you. You're like, maybe I'll surf so that I can surf forever. I'll leave the crazy ways to the crazy people that might want to end it all for the glory. But anyway, yeah, so when I'm swimming laps at the lap pool, I do, there was a hawk just flew overhead. That was cool. 700 yards free. I think it's 700 yards free. And immediately 100 yards fly. That takes about 12 minutes. Oh, and then a minute rest. That takes about 12 minutes. So, swimming in the pool where I'm tethered, do 10 minutes freestyle, and then 2 minutes butterfly, and then almost no rest. Take a sip of water, sip of fuel, and then start again. And swimming tethered at a pool, like, you have to remember, it's like swimming open water. There's no turns, so you have to be chill, you know, and not go too hard. And I'm just looking at my watch, going by time and effort. If I swam just straight freestyle, I'd swim about 4,100 yards in an hour. So if I was to swim backyard pool tethered, and I wanted to do an Ironman straight out from my house, or I bike from my house, but did the swim in the pool, I'd swim just over an hour and 3 minutes or something, freestyle, nonstop. We could call it the gravel mixed up gravel man. And then do, like I said, at least a half Ironman. I got this route that's 60 miles, and it takes 4 hours on a nice day. And of course I would ride it relaxed, so definitely 4 hours if I was going to run a half marathon afterwards. The really cool thing about doing a self-supported race is you finish at your house. And the times I've done Ironmans and stuff like that from the house, I've had friends join me, run with your dog, do all kinds of stuff. You got GPS and Strava, so it can be accurate. I always do a tiny bit extra, just so people can't say that you cut it short. You know, there's weird people out there. That's not a real Ironman. It's like, well, I swam 2.5 and I biked 113, not 112, and I ran 26 point, instead of 26.2, like 26.5. So it's actually longer than an Ironman. So at what point are you going to be happy? I do it for you anyway. So. Put down on the outside so I don't slide out. We're almost done with all the gravel at the top of this little hill. Thought that was a tarantula back there. I've seen a tarantula out here twice in my life. It is really cool when you see one. Someday we'll get lucky and see another one. Yeah, and then people come out and join me, or they do it somewhere else. We all raise money for charity. So instead of spending a lot of money, you actually raise money for somebody else. The money it takes to go do a race, especially a big name brand race far away, you could easily buy a really high-end set of carbon race wheels with the power meter. You just do the race yourself on your own. It's a corporation now anyway, the Ironman brand. They don't care about you, except for your money. So go support a local race or a small race. Anyway, yeah, I think we're done with today's activities. I'm gonna run in the morning. Let's see. Yeah, I'm running in the morning, most likely. I got the morning off from work. I might swim afterwards. I doubt it, but I might. Because on Friday, we're going out of town and coming back. And I won't have time really to work out. and do that. I could swim in the backyard early in the morning, but we need to leave by 7:30, and that's a tight squeeze. I may just want to sleep in so I'm rested so I can have a nice bike ride on Saturday, where Leadville is going to be on YouTube for free. And if you buy the premium, whatever they call it, version of YouTube, you can actually close the screen and still hear the audio. So you can listen to the race while you're out on a long bike ride, which is probably my plan. I don't know. Saturday and Sundays always decide which one I'm going to do based on the weather, you know, and which day's cooler for longer. If it's going to be overcast up till noon and a little bit longer, I'll probably go for a bike ride, because then I can be out and get less sun exposure and be a little bit cooler that whole morning. All right, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the snake. Oh, if you want coaching, I do full Ironman, Ultraman, ultra running, ultra swimming, ultra distance cycling, and short distance. I grew up as a sprint freestyler, so I know my short stuff. I was varsity captain, freestyle sprint freestyler, state finalist in Texas, which is a big freaking state. So you can reach out to me at texafornia@gmail.com. Texafornia, like Texas and California, because I've lived in both. And coaching somewhere in the email. And what I do is I search for that first. And then the workouts are real simple. Lots of tips on how to get the workouts done, which if you're doing high volume, what you need more than anything is how to fit this into your life, how to go along without getting tired, how to fuel, how to, all that stuff's in there. So, which is why Zen works with it really nice, because it teaches you the laid back approach. That's the only way you're going to get in big volume, is to be laid back. So if that's you, or you would like that to be you, let me know. All right? Or DM me, or message me in the comments. Okay? All right.